Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. We're offended, you're offended. Here is where we like to talk about things that bother us. I'm just kidding. Well, not kidding. Half kidding?
Yeah.
Yes, it is things that bother us, I guess.
Yeah, it's more things that just I don't know, things that we observe and some of the issues that we see, and just trying to voice some of those opinions.
Exactly. And there are a lot of opinions that people don't want to actually say out loud, or sometimes opinions people don't want to hear. But that's why we're also called We're Offended, You're Offended. Well, we all know me. I'm Kym. Tyler, where are you reporting to from today? That was good English.
From the failed state that is California. It's beautiful when you drive down the road and you see just tents and cardboard, buildings and plywood huts and shopping carts all along the highways. It's a beautiful sight to see. I love it.
So I keep hearing, so far, to be honest, I think every time you've gone to California now, I don't remember you saying one nice thing about it, other than the homeless people and the tents and the garbage.
Yeah, that's pretty much California state.
Sounds nice. Well, if you go into San Francisco, there is that app or whatever where you can see where the human feces is all over the place. So, yay, that's a bonus. They should have one in California for, like, I don't know, I guess homeless hoods, the homeless hood. I don't know.
Oh, the whole state outside of, like, the actual, like, mountain ranges. Even that's probably a bit of a stretch. Would all be like whatever the color probably designated as, like, red or something.
Ew. That sounds nice.
Yeah. Okay. Should we kick this pig?
Yeah, I think we should kick this pig. Like, disclaimer.
Okay.
I'm just going to say right off the hop here, before we get into it, I just want everybody to know that we are not anti-vaxxers. We actually find vaccines to be very beneficial. This has nothing to do with being an anti-vaxxer, so let's just get that part out of the way, okay? And I'm sure a lot of people are actually tired of hearing about this whole COVID thing. We've only been living it for the past, year and 8 months now, so that's super fun.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure everybody's over it.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, I said yeah. I was agreeing with you. Yes, almost 2 years. But we're gonna fucking get into this shit. Oh, pardon my wow! I just dropping swears all over the place. We're gonna get into this Four King shirt. Yes.
Okay, so before we get into it, you can follow us we're on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, a bunch of other stuff. You can click the like button. You can subscribe if you want. Share it with people that you think. If you think that we're doing a good job. Okay. Anyways, let's get this. Let's get this stuff started. So this is from Global News. And Manitoba is to require full vaccination for restaurants, bars, movies, and sporting events. Manitobans looking to catch a movie at a theater, grab a drink on a patio, blah, 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 will now need to show proof of full immunization against COVID under the public's latest public health orders. The new orders go into effect September 3rd, and we'll see a number of businesses, services, and events put out of each of those who haven't gotten 2 shots of the vaccine. Ensuring that people are fully immunized before attending high-risk events, activities, and services will help reduce community spread of the virus. That's our public health officer, Dr. Rusin, he said on Friday. So, if anyone that doesn't know, and I'll continue on this. Typically, bad news gets released on Fridays. Typically when they do it, they'll do it in the afternoon, in the evening, because people are busy. So it continues with, so the new requirements for people to be fully immunized to participate in certain events and activities will be in effect in all of Manitoba's health regions and will include indoor and outdoor ticketed sporting events and concerts, indoor theater, dance, symphony events, restaurants, nightclubs, casinos, bingo halls and BLT lounges, movie theaters, fitness centers, gyms, indoor sporting and recreational facilities.
So everything.
Organized indoor groups. Well, hold on. Organized indoor group recreational classes and activities and indoor recreational businesses. Okay,
Don't go on any further. Don't read more into the article yet.
Okay.
Just go with what you're about to say. Just don't read any more into it.
Okay, so I want to bring up one thing. So I recently came into the understanding of a doctrine called the Oakes test. And so let's see, what exactly is the Oakes test?
That was my next question.
Perfect. So the Oakes test was created by the Supreme Court of Canada in 1986. The test interprets Section 1 of the Charter of Rights and go away. Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which state that rights are guaranteed, subject only to such reasonable limits as can be demonstrably justified in a free and democratic society. This means that the government must establish that the benefits of a law outweigh its negative impact. That is violation of a charter right. So the test, I guess you guys could look into it a lot more, but oh no, did I? Shit. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think everybody, or I think you can hear what you were saying, or understand what you were saying for the most part. But yeah, you're cutting in and out of it.
Well, you can just tell me that I'm making out.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep it on the DL.
Okay, so the test interprets Section 1 of the Charter of Rights and Freedom, which states that rights are guaranteed, subject only to such reasonable limits, such as can be demonstrably justified in a free and democratic society. This means that the government must establish that the benefits of a law outweigh its negative impact. That is, its violation of a charter right. So a lot of this stuff that I haven't, and please, like, if there was like a public hearing in this, if there was a vote on this type of stuff, these mandates and these, I don't know, it's just,
I'm sure there was, but it's only for the higher up people. The people in government are the ones having these little get-togethers and cahooting with each other about what's going on and what their plans are. It's not like it's a public thing.
Which I don't know. I've called my MPP in Manitoba regarding this issue, and I haven't gotten a response back. And I've even said, like, where's the public discussion on this? And I haven't gotten any response back. So that's really nice. My representative just kind of, I like, hey, you're supposed to represent me to Manitoba. And at least Palliser's stepping down, but he screwed up the entire province. But anyways, it's completely besides the point. But so there's been no public hearing. It hasn't gone through a legislative process, and it's become doctrine. So there's one thing that I want to bring up, and this is the kind of the connections that I see. So the definition of I can't even say the word apparent. Totalitarianism.
Totalitarianism? Something like that?
Oh my god. That's a totalitarian. I can't believe I can't say this word right now.
Me neither. I've heard you blurt it out a few times.
Totalitarianism. Oh my god. Okay, so
where's the cheer clap? Yay!
Yeah. So is a concept for a form of government or political system that prohibits opposition parties, restricts individual opposition to the state and its claims, and exercises an extreme high degree of control over public and private life. Well, am I the only one seeing this type of stuff?
I think so. I think you are.
I know I'm not alone in this, because I listen to other people. I hear what other people are saying. I listen to those concerns, and I was having a discussion with a friend of mine today, and it actually kind of it made me actually really upset. I actually got really upset by this. And so I see, the thing from the Toronto Star where, I have no sympathy or no empathy for unvaccinated people. And I'm seeing those types of comments being brought up more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, so this is what I see. I see government insane amount of spending. I see inflation on the rise. I see unemployment on the rise. So this is what I was saying like a couple episodes ago about stagflation.
Yeah. The only reason I know what that word means.
So I see these types of things, and my concern is the people that get hurt the most from this. And this really bugs me. The people that are in middle income, low income, or in poverty. Those three categories are getting squeezed harder and harder, and I see more and more people are, let's say with these mandates, those people are now going to be left behind, and that bugs me. And and I always try to have a discussion of thought. I try, and it's ultimately it might happen where I will attack the person, but I try my very, very hardest to attack the idea. And what really bothers me is when you see these types of, not necessarily just this article, but especially that one from the Toronto Star. And I had some time to think about it. Really, really thought about with that article. And I thought, what if this is kind of putting up front and center, look at what is happening in Canada? Not necessarily that the Toronto Star is saying, hey, this is what we want, but it's more, almost like I would see it as more like, Canada, this is what you've become.
Oh, 100%. When I first seen the picture of the front of the Toronto Star, like I said, like I was livid when I was reading that. I was like, what? I need to read what this article is, because again, I have learned through many years that you can't just take something at face value. You need to dig a little deeper. So you see something that's completely appalling, and you can't just take it as, oh, this is what the Toronto Star thinks, blah, blah, blah. No. So I started digging. And it took a while for me to actually get into the article, but that's when I got into the article, and that is exactly, they're explaining that this is how, doctors are feeling, people in the medical industry, everyday people, the things that are being said on Twitter and social media. Like, this is stuff that they're picking up, and 100%, that's exactly what I believe that the author of that article was trying to kind of go for, was look what we're becoming.
Yeah. And it's, so I guess when I was talking with my friend about this, and so, this is the type of stuff that I see. I'm terrified. Like, coming from like a financial look, and that libertarian, libertarian, but I mean like a traditional libertarian in freedom of choice, freedom of religion, yada yada yada. I always look at, this is a bit of a tangent, I always look at our Charter of Rights as this is the framework we're going to work from. So we are all in agreement of this document. We all agree with this document. And
that was the thing that was laid out, set out for us to abide by and to live from.
And so when I see that, and I see people say like Canada, like Jagmeet Singh, the NDP leader saying Canada is racist. And that is such a disingenuous and such a such a loaded statement. You know, this guy, he's a terrorist sympathizer, and it's not hyperbole. It is literally this. He's done this. He's actively went to rallies that supported terrorist organization. Not from me, from the the guy himself.
Wait,
So
though.
I'm
I
okay, but anyways, so this is besides the point. That whatever. We agree if we're you're not stuck here yet. You are free to leave Canada. If if you worked at a job and they said, hey, we're changing all of these policies, and you say, you know what, if that's what's being enacted, then I'm opting out. I'm leaving. And I think people should have that right. Like, if you don't like, the foundations in which a country is founded, then leave. And people say, oh, well, they can't afford to leave. No. You can sell all your possessions. You can do something. You can do something. And so when I see people say, things like, I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy. And I asked my friend this question. I said, and I've said it before, I'm an atheist. I at very best, I'm an agnostic atheist. The old joke, how will you know someone's a vegetarian and atheist? Well, don't worry, they'll tell you. But I bring that up to make the point of, I see people, not all, and I understand this isn't all, but I see some people that are supposed to follow this type of doctrine, this type of teaching, of being tolerant, of if we are all made in God's image, believe in this. If we're all made in God's image, we should not be judging. And seeing this type of stuff, where people can be so callous, so hateful, and so self-centered that they would say, I am more important. And I ended up, and so when I was bringing this up, and I'm sorry, my thoughts are kind of all over the place, because I'm just, this actually really bothers me to like the core of my being. The way I think of it, on like a ship, when a ship is sinking, and then if people are in this compartment where there's the breach, well, they either get those people out, or in so much time they have to shut the hatch, because, well, those people, if we don't seal this breach, we're all going to die. And I maybe this is the altruistic, the I don't know, the type of person that I am, but I see, like, I look at it as, I'm trying to reach my hand out and trying to save these people. Like, hey, no, you don't need to be isolated. You don't need to be alone. And it's and it's, I don't want to see people being hurt. I don't want to see people being ostracized, excommunicated from a society that doesn't even have the heart to say, I understand. That fundamentally, to my core, bothers me. That people are so intolerant. And you know what? Maybe the ultimate irony is that I don't understand their position.
Well,
the people that would say this type of stuff.
I mean, they're putting it out there, though. They're not being quiet about it.
No, I know, but I'm trying to understand. So in speaking with my friend about it, was how can people, like, and I've really tried to reconcile this. I can't reconcile these diverging and absolute opposing opinions. of government is ineffective at best because they try to control and manipulate, and they keep sticking their fingers in stuff. The housing market, the job market, it's like government has just kept sticking their fingers in and trying to tweak this and tweak that, and oh well, if we overtax here, well then we can give a cut back here, and it's like, and this is what I see people that are already struggling, that people that are already in worse positions than, and keep falling further and further behind, and it's like they're trying to climb up the ladder in the breach, and the water just keeps rushing in and keeps knocking them down, and you see them getting pulled in, and you're reaching your hand out. It's like, I'm trying to help you, and you can't. You can't do anything because you have people that just say, no, they're bad people. Those are bad people down there. Shut the hatch and let them die.
Yeah.
When did we become so hurt?
I don't know. The
thing is, it's such a contradiction for people that say, I believe in teachings of a book. I believe in the teachings and the belief in a God and a higher power, and that we're all equal. Where the fuck did they get off doing stuff like that, acting like that? Where do people, these are all Canadians, even better yet, they're all humans. But yet people they're just, as long as I shut up and keep my head down, and if they would have just done what they're told. I don't know. Like, I grew up, be kind to people, be respectful. Just generally be a nice person, have empathy, have sympathy. You don't know what they're going through. You hear all these stories, of, it bothers me that is, that's what I was taught. That's what I grew up with. Be kind to people. And I've kind of followed that. Don't fall into peer pressure. Where, now the contradiction is, well, you should give into peer pressure. And you know what? The people that don't get it, well, they can be, second-class citizens, while it seems like such a, the government already does whatever they want. Francois Legault, the premier of Quebec, you can look this up, said they did not want to have a public debate because they didn't want to give people bad information. So you can't even have the discussion. And the narrow-mindedness of people that are just, oh, well, maybe you should just shut up and do what the government says. When they said, masks, you need to wear a mask. Now people are coming up with respiratory issues because the fibers are scarring their lungs. So what? Oh, you need to do what you're told. Oh, you mean by the same vaccine manufacturers that are immune from liability if someone gets an adverse reaction and dies from this? I'm not saying all, but the people that were against, big pharma, big tech, big insurance, big blah, 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 big, are now the ones saying, just do what they're saying. Just listen. Why fight?
Well, see, and that's what doesn't make any sense to me, though, is in history, you've never had pharmaceutical companies that are completely off the hook and you can't go after them if you have adverse effects to a vaccine or this or that, blah, blah, blah. That hasn't been around. But now they're telling you this. Like, I'm sorry, but even as somebody who has been vaccinated, like, that's kind of scares me. Actually, it doesn't kind of scare me. It scares me.
That people would just, and it's like a it's like a pyramid. Like government at the top just does whatever they want to do. Gonna do whatever they want to do. You know, Justin Trudeau recently, and I've been trying to find this video, but I cannot find it for the life of me now. He started yelling at people. People were yelling at him because he wants to put in more vaccine mandates. He wants to make things harder for people and that they need to do this. When was it government's job to protect people from themselves? Where has our autonomy gone? Where has it gone? I don't get it. I don't understand. And I'm like I said, I'm trying to reconcile where one argument is one and then it's the complete opposite on the other. Government is ineffective, government sucks, government can't do their job, and blah 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 blah. And then on the other side, well, why aren't you taking the vaccine? Why don't you just listen to the government? Well, if you're at least gonna, I would at least believe someone if they said, I understand government is ineffective, but blah, 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 blah. Make your argument. But it's no, just these, anti-vax people, they're stupid. Oh, they're dumb. What?
But see, and again, I am going to say, this has nothing to do with people being anti-vaxxers whatsoever. Like, I'm sure there are a couple out there that are, we're anti-vaxxers. Okay, cool. But that doesn't mean that everybody is just a bunch of anti-vaxxers. Like, nobody has even taken the time. I'm pretty sure all the people who are very pro getting the vaccine and stuff like that and very pushy about it as well, I'm pretty sure none of them have gone up to somebody and said, well, why is it that you don't want to take it? Did they try to understand? Is it against their religion? What if there's something in it that could affect them? They could have an allergy to it. They could kill them if they were to take it. What if most people, I think it's misinformation. They don't have information. They're getting, like we had mentioned before, they're getting all this information from all sides around them, telling them, yes, it's good. No, it's bad. Yes, take this, blah, blah, blah. Like they're getting all these things thrown at them and they don't know. So there's a lot of misinformation. People are scared. This COVID...
And it's not even necessarily that. It's the fact of, the same comments are made about, well, these people, they're like, I mean, like actual people that think that vaccines give autism and the stuff that it's all been debunked. Okay, the argument's over. That doctor was discredited decades ago. That whole argument is mute. It's done. It's over. But like I said, even for asking, what are some concerns, or these are my concerns with it.
Yeah, but nobody's even taking that time to ask somebody. They right away look at them. As soon as somebody says, no, I don't want to get the vaccine, they don't ask questions. It's right away either, why? You're being selfish, da-da-da. Like, not an actual, like, well, why? Like, please let me understand why it is that you don't. It's, why? You want people to suffer. You don't care about my health. And they right away just start attacking without actually trying to understand where the other person is coming from. Like,
but that's like such a contradiction. That is like not what you said, but the statement of, why don't you get it? Do you want me to die?
Yeah, it's very selfish and very, it's, the thing is, it's like, okay, well, I could sit there and go to you. Why do you want me to, like, why won't you get it? Do you want me to die? And then it's like, well, no, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. Have you ever thought maybe I don't want to die by taking it because I can't? Or because I'm scared to, because I actually have a brain and I'm thinking? Like, okay, like, even if somebody... I'm not saying everybody who took the vaccine, it doesn't have a brain. Like, you know what I'm trying to say here, though, is like people are allowed to have questions. They're allowed to think. They're allowed to be scared and leery about something that's new. They're also allowed to be worried when people are doing nothing but constantly push, 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 push. Take it, please take it. Not even please, take it. Or you're going to be trapped inside your house forever. Like, I'm sorry, but that raises a lot of red flags. 100%.
Well, and the fact that and this is going to end up becoming, there was no judicial, no legal process that this stuff has gone through. In Manitoba, there is one reason I will never, ever, ever, ever vote NDP. Maybe I should never say never, but this became nobody talked about it when we had that big flood, and with this is with
97?
Greg Selinger. No, it was later than that. I don't know. Maybe it was 90s. No,
When the army and stuff came, it was 97.
No, it was after that. It was after that. Whenever Greg Selinger was premier, there was the winter thaw, and they had to flood a section of Portage la Prairie, the city, town, whatever. And so he campaigned on, I will not raise your taxes. In fact, they lowered taxes. He said that I was going to lower your taxes. He wanted to get the PST down to, I think it was like 4 or 5%. So he campaigned on that. Okay, so the PST went down. He lived up to what he wanted to do. He said he would not raise it. He wouldn't raise it. After that flood hit, because if you are trying to raise people's taxes provincially, it has to go through a thing called a referendum. So there has to be a public a vote on it. You know what he did?
No.
He voted to change the laws so there is no public hearing, that there is no vote on it. It can just be decreed, and therefore it is done.
Oh my God. Wow, convenient. Okay. So that's 100% hypocritical. It's like, oh, no, we're going to do this, but there'll be a vote. Don't worry. But I'm going to quickly change that so you can't vote, sucker.
So that is one thing that has stuck out in my mind, and that is why I cannot trust the NDP because of the decisions that have been made. Just like I cannot trust the Conservative Party in Manitoba. And in fact, the Conservative Party of Canada, I'm less and less inclined to vote for them because of the policies that they're pushing for. I am less inclined to vote for them. In fact, I would say I'm not going to be voting for them in this election. I will not be. And this is somebody as a card-carrying member of the Conservative Party.
I was just going to say.
I will not.
I thought that you were, planning on, when we were talking about you potentially running, that was the party that you were going to be running for. So just a slight detour off our topic here, what is it that they're, I guess, pushing that's making you go nay?
Carbon tax. It's actually becoming more a bureaucratic nightmare. More mandates, more vaccine and vaccine passports. He's pushing for more of that. And those are the types of things that I you know what? If it was, hey, we're going to repeal, these certain laws that we find that we see are unconstitutional, governments never take away power. They only take more power. And sorry, I'm not interested in a government that is just, liberal light. And that's what everyone has been saying lately. The Conservative Party is liberal light. And, so I don't know where I was originally going with this, but I don't know.
I'm not sure either. But with everything that's been going on lately, like I want people to really just stop and think. I think so many people are just listening blindly to what they're being told and stuff like that. And I'm not telling everybody, rise up and damn the man. Well, no, but use your brains. And not even just that, take a look around. All this COVID, since COVID started, all this COVID stuff.
Hold on. Oh, sorry. What? No, carry on. Sorry.
All this COVID stuff has caused such a divide. It's literally causing people to segregate and hate each other. There is zero compassion left whatsoever. The government has done a great job at stripping it from everybody. Instead of just throwing hatred to one another, take care of yourself. Make sure that you're safe for you. Ask questions, like maybe try and ask questions and try and understand where others are coming from. But take care of you. If you think the vaccine is important and you think wearing 5 masks at a time and gloves and sanitizing and social distancing and not seeing anybody is important to you, I'm not discrediting that, nor am I saying that that is wrong. But if that is what is important to you, then power to you. You do you. Stop throwing hatred at everybody. And like you had mentioned earlier, me growing up myself, I grew up in a Catholic church. And things that are, I'm not Catholic now, but things that are taught to you, love thy neighbor, have compassion for one another, forgiveness, love. I don't remember seeing in fine print somewhere that you only love them when they're following the rules and doing what others want of them. But if they're not doing that, then nay, let's all torch them, string them up on a cross, because that's not okay. You're raised to forgive people. Look at the good in people. That's not what's happening now. You're supposed to be loving, it's causing a divide with friends, with family, with your neighbors. Like, the government's literally telling you to rat your neighbors out if they're having more than what you're allowed. Think about this. It's so sad. And I'm so disgusted that this is the way that people are choosing to act. I refuse to be a part of that. I'm not going to rat on my neighbors, and I'm not going to give somebody a hard time if they don't want to get the vaccine. If they have questions that I can answer, great, I'll answer them. If not, talk to your doctor. If you're still not comfortable with getting it, you're still not comfortable with getting it. I'm okay with that. That's you. You do you.
Yeah.
Stop.
So here was one from CTV News. Unvaccinated? Here are some of the things that are off limits to you in Canada. So federal employees need to be, otherwise they're fired.
Out of a job.
Travel.
Yeah.
So you can't travel.
Hold on.
Post-secondary education. Healthcare. Other activities.
With the job thing, too, I was reading also, I think it was in the first article, that they were saying it's going to be mandatory, for federal employees or whatever to get the vaccines and other places as well, or other jobs, but it's going to be up to that job how they're going to kind of go about it. Because if you refuse to get the vaccine, then you must undergo up to 3 COVID tests a week, and you cannot go to your job unless you have a COVID test come back negative. So think about that. So I take my test, say, on a Monday or a Sunday, so I can go to work on Monday. Well, tests don't always come back that quickly. So say by Tuesday, I can go to work. Oh, look, Wednesday's here. I got to go for another test. So now I'm going to miss Wednesday. Thursday, might be able to go for work for Friday, but oh, no, got to go do another test. But then that's also going to be dependent on the jobs, what the testing is going to look like. It's going to be potentially up to your job or your employer to actually administer these tests. Do you really think a job is going to go through all of that for somebody who doesn't want to get vaccinated? They're probably just going to be like, fork this. We're just going to get somebody else. We're going to get another puppet in here that's going to get vaccinated so we don't have to worry about this shit.
Well, and in terms of that, I think it's going to become there are lawsuits. There are lawsuits. Tons and tons of lawsuits. People are suing the government a lot for this type of stuff. So
I'd like to see if somebody actually wins it with these lawsuits against the government for bullshit like this. Because I mean, you think about it, the courts is all government owned. It's hard enough to convict a cop of doing something bad by other cops. You know what I mean? Because that's them. I mean, how are you gonna sue the government. Like, I mean, I don't know what judge is going to side with a person and potentially lose their job, because I'm pretty sure they would be reprimanded for going against their own government when they work for the government. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
No, that's not correct. As far as my understanding, or kind of similar, that our judicial system is separate from like the oh my god, I can't think of the like the legislative branch and the judicial branch are separated.
Okay.
So unless the prime minister has authority that he can hire and fire judges, like Supreme Court judges, don't think he can. So once they're there, they're kind of. So I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that they're separate. But
yeah, maybe. I still can't see it being an easy feat. That's for sure.
Oh, this is going to be years, and we're not gonna hear about it. And you know what? And I don't know. I said and I've made this analogy before. The freedom of travel, which is a charter right in Canada. Well, what is them to say? Well, it is now, interprovincial travel is limited. Well, what about within municipalities? What about you can't use public sidewalks because, well, now you can be in your house. Well, we're not violating your charter rights in your own home, but you cannot use public services, i.e., say the street. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying,
where does it end?
Well, yeah, if people are willing, just hook, line, and sinker, to just willfully do this type of stuff, willfully just give up rights and get them back as privileges, and I'm sorry, people have said, oh, maybe he shouldn't have said. Brian Pallister said privileges. Wasn't an off the cuff. This wasn't a, just a random conversation. This was a televised statement.
Dude, it's not even just him. Sorry to cut you off, but it's not even just him. In this article that we're referring to here in the Global News, there's some like clips in it. I don't know if you actually watched the clips, but there's clips in it, and they literally say the same thing. That unvaccinated people will not get their privileges back. They said the exact same flippin' thing.
So here's been one particular word that's been getting thrown around, and it's anathema.
Who in the what now?
Anathema. So someone or something or someone that one vehemently dislikes. So one other thing, or the second description is a formal curse by a pope or a council of the church, excommunicating a person or denouncing a doctrine.
Okay.
So think of the government is trying to replace parents, is trying to replace the church, that everyone worships the church of government. That's the way I look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's far off.
But now they're excommunicating people that cannot get vaccinated, or people that have their own autonomy. I don't know if people remember, Trudeau was saying earlier, Canada will never be a country of vaccine mandates. Those are his exact words.
Did he really say that?
Words. Yeah.
I'm guessing this was pre-COVID.
And now what is he saying?
He's telling Rhodey to bend it over and take it up the tailpipe.
Exactly. And it's I don't know. It's like I said, this type of stuff. I've said it over and over again. The intolerance, the lack of empathy, and just the selfishness is, I don't know. Maybe it's just the people that I hear these comments from. Maybe it's just better that I just don't engage, because like that type of stuff, that people that could be that heartless or that selfish. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It really, that really kind of bugs me. Like I said, And then the funny thing is, I try to empathize with those people that are like that think like that are that narrow minded. And I try to understand. And just for the life of me, I don't. Like I had someone approach me a little while ago. And this kind of shifting gears a little bit. But so they were saying, hey, I just bought some like like cheap stocks. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, here's some these are some of the the things that I do and some of the information that I look for when I'm seeking out stocks to invest in. There's the YouTube channels that I follow. These are some of the skills that I've picked up, in reading a business's financial statements and understanding when you look at a financial statement, what you're actually looking at. Because to a lot of people, it's just a bunch of numbers and words, and I don't know. Makes no sense.
Looks like Greek.
Yeah. So to some people, yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. So, and I try to do that type of stuff. As the expression goes, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. And I think, as I've gotten older, my desire for knowledge has only gotten more and more and more. I've tried to learn so much information, especially things that I think are important. I think government overreach and government just, carving this out of our charter and that out of our charter, selling out, like, selling our manufacturing. Like, we've become beholden to foreign countries that do not share our same values, same our basic values of human rights, and we've become so dependent on them that we can't do anything. But anyways, so I try to come from that type of that line of, these are the types of things that I do. I'm not saying you need to do them, but if you want to do something, especially if someone, say isn't working or has free time or is, seeking types of information. Like I had a discussion with regarding, like, just saving money. And I said, like, no offense, but that's, like, nowadays, that's one of the dumbest things you could do, is having money just sitting in a bank account, literally rotting away. And, person kind of got all offended. And I said, well, the fact of that money's just sitting there doing nothing. And me and this person, like, we've had this discussion before. This isn't the first time this has been brought up. So the fact that it's like, what did you just say? Saving money is dumb?
Yeah, you just slapped him in the face, man.
Yeah, but it's like, no, but I've said this before. I've said, like, hey, if you're going to be saving money, I believe it. Absolutely save money. But you could put it in a mutual fund, in a GIC. You could put it in dividend stocks. You could, become educated. Like, investing in yourself is it. That's one thing. Like, I remember seeing a quote. I don't remember it exactly. Is like, government can take your property, take your livelihood. But one thing they will never be able to touch is your knowledge. They can never take away the information that you've learned. So I figure, hey,
sorry, people hear the word stocks, though, and it's like taboo, because you think stocks, you think of Wall Street, you think of betting all your money and losing it all in like a second. Like, that's where people's minds go, and my mind went there too. Before I was a little more educated than I am now. I still don't know a lot about stocks, but I know some. But that's the thing, is that's where people have always been taught, save money, save money, save money. And
I agree. I totally agree.
But you it's not just save money with you. Yours is invest money. Invest money in something that'll help grow.
Why not?
Well, no, like that's not a bad thing.
No, I know, but I'm saying like that's such a that's like investing like baseline. Like investing doesn't have to be in the stock market. Investing can be in real estate, in collectibles, in education.
But
In
it's always
you
such a
know,
risk though. Like people just take
no,
it
it's not.
as no, it's not if you're educated. But people who don't know anything about stocks haven't educated themselves and they think of stocks and they think you're going to put all your money in and you're going to lose it all. So all those years of hard work, you're not going to see a dime of it. That's where their mind goes because they're not educated.
Well, I guess actually in the similar conversation that I was having today, uh, we were talking about like yeah, you could have like a money manager or like a stockbroker, someone that you just give them the money and they do what they want with it. And yeah, to an extent, and that is good to have. But I would never trust one person with my life savings. Why? Like for me, I find it's fun, it's interesting, and it's not fun in you know people have made the equate or the similarity, like you stated, that it's like gambling. No, not not at all. But I guess if you want to go with the strictest form of gambling, is I give money in hopes of either I get it back, I make money on it, or I lose money. Okay, I can see the argument, but that is such an oversimplification, almost to the point of it's not even I don't know, fair. It's not even a legitimate statement anymore. It's reduced that much. There are inherent risks in absolutely everything that you do. What I would find, like, one thing that like Robert Kiyosaki said was, stocks aren't risky. People are risky. For me personally, and this is not financial advice, we plan on kind of maybe talking maybe about this type of stuff and in the future. But this is not actual financial advice. I'm just saying this is what I do. I don't deal in speculative stocks. I don't deal in cutting edge technology. It's too risky for me. I might put a little bit of money there. I'm definitely not putting everything there. I spend, I put my investments in dividend stocks, things that I know will give me money back. That like, to me, that's such a no brainer. You make 3-4% of your investment every quarter or every month, whatever the dividend period is. Typically, it's every quarter, and it's basically it's free money. You have a business giving you money for giving them money, and then you get it back. That's such a no-brainer thought to me. And so, and I hear the things of, it's reckless. No, I think I would look at it as, think of like like a typical neighborhood. You have a house and you have the sidewalk and the boulevard, and then you have the street. What I would find reckless is someone telling their child, just run across the street. That's reckless. I would find that to be reckless. And that would be someone that is uneducated and saying, I'm going to go throw money in stocks. Well, which ones? I don't know. I like this. Well, why do you like that company? I don't know. I just,
It's got a pretty name.
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
I like the logos colors.
How have they been performing? What are they like in comparable businesses in their field? Are they underperforming? Are they overperforming? Are they overinflated or underinflated? Which is stock terms.
I don't know, but the logo's pretty.
So that I would find absolutely reckless. You wouldn't send a child to run across the street if they didn't know that, hey, cars go on the road and they can hit you. That's reckless. And that's how I see people that just, well, I got money, I'm going to throw it in the stock market and see what happens. What do you mean, see what happens? That is, I wouldn't say I'm risk adverse, but I'll say this. The way that I paid for the trailer that I bought for the business was through stocks. That's how I paid for it. So when I first started, I couldn't afford the trailer. I had no way of making that payment to buy the trailer. But I invested with certain stocks, things that I from my education and learning what would perform. And I don't know, I think people have so much potential, and I've always said, like, I try to look for the good in people, and I assume that people are coming from a genuine point of view until I'm proven otherwise. And the more and more I see, comments, or I see articles about, oh, I don't care if these people die and they're stupid and they're dumb, and you don't really think that, do you? Like, you can't. Like, right?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to think not. However, I mean, why would they say it? There's so many people who are making comments like this that it just, honestly, like, when I see comments like that, it makes me mad and really sad, actually,
It does,
because
yeah.
it's just, I've seen in this past almost 2 years, I have seen such a decline with humanity. There's no longer humanity left. There's literally, like, at jobs, people aren't happy. People are so rude. God forbid you accidentally get too close to somebody. You try and hold a door from somebody. You get snarled at because, you're within my social bubble here, or you're not social distancing because you're holding a door for me. Like, just go. Oh, okay. There was one incident that in the wintertime, I was going to the LC, which really doesn't matter where I was going, but I was traveling, and I seen an old lady fall down on ice on the road. I stopped my vehicle and I got out to see if she was okay. I went to go help her up, but she told me it was okay. She got herself up. She had her glasses flew off. I got her glasses back, and I offered her a ride. It was cold out. She slipped. She fell. It was super icy. She would not take a ride from me. Now, I'm not saying get in car with strangers, but the reason she wouldn't get in the car with me was because of COVID. Now, I understand when everything's kind of new and people are scared, but the thing is, that is just one example of the lack of humanity, or not even the lack of humanity, just you're trying to help somebody and they can't take your help because of COVID. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
She would rather limp and walk in the freezing cold, icy weather and potentially fall again. And anybody who knows old people, they are like glass. Like, one small fall could literally be life-threatening to somebody. And my heart broke when she fell. And I literally sat there and watched her walk to the bus stop to make sure she was okay, because I was so scared she was going to fall again. Not like she would take my help, but at least I could call somebody and she wouldn't be left on the side of the road. But that's the thing. Like, there is such a decline. Like, neighbors don't talk to each other. Families are fighting. Friends don't, because if you don't get vaccinated, or, and so the depression's on the rise, suicide's on the rise. We've discussed this before. Spousal abuse, child abuse, like everything. Like, the humanity has gone down so immensely. And it's literally just heartbreaking. And then I see people that are literally fighting with one another. And it's not even just, well, you can't come near me because you might have the plague. it's have you been vaccinated? Oh, you won't get vaccinated. Oh, and then the claws come out, and then it's something else. Like, this is what people are choosing to do. They're rioting for what do you call it? Black Lives Matter. You know, they're starting riots. They're wrecking businesses. People are dying. Everybody is going fucking crazy. I've been trying to watch my mouth this entire fucking episode, but people are losing their fucking minds. Like, it is so sad.
I think a lot of people are scared, but like I was, just saying, like, I think education is important, and like, I don't think, I don't just I listen to other people, but I just don't believe it at face value. And I've said, if you're going to be talking, or if you're going to be listening to someone, we have the sum knowledge of the world in our hands. Literally more powerful than anything in the world is the ability to access information.
Well, and I mean, depending on where you're looking, though, I mean, there's lots of misinformation, or it could be guided towards the left, the right, whatever. Like, we've proven so many times. It's absolutely ridiculous. I really like that little app thing that you have, though. I think that's really neat. I wish Google was like that, the Google.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you remember when Google used to, what was it called? Do good or be good?
No.
Yeah, that used to be their slogan. It was be good.
I remember when you used to be able to Google, how do I find Chuck Norris, and hit I feel lucky, and then it would come up with a thing, you can't find Chuck Norris, he finds you, and blah, 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 blah. It was so funny. They don't have that anymore. I know, it was so sad. I was like, oh, why'd they take that away? That made me giggle. But it just, with the media and the government, and
do good. That was it. And it used to be, it was Google and then do good.
Well, they're not doing good. I'm sorry, Google.
Sorry. But... No, sorry. It was don't be evil.
Don't be evil?
How far have they fallen, eh?
Right?
Yeah, and then they changed it from, apparently, do the right thing.
Only if it fits the narrative, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But so, I guess, kind of to get back at, and like I was saying, like, with people to see, as, like I said, like, as stocks, or I should just say, just investments, not just stocks. And I've had conversation with people that aren't very intelligent. They say, nope, they're too risky. It's like gambling. Man, it's not. It's not. And I think if education, like, I think people should be invested in things. Like I said, whether it's properties, collectibles, stocks, your education,
your health. To bring it back to the article, have information, ask questions, Google it, or fucking Google it, DuckDuckGo it, or whatever the hell you want to do.
Well, and that's one thing that actually was brought up when I was talking to my friend about it, was, that hasn't been a topic of discussion, is take care of yourself. Like, your body is the best thing to fight, most infections. And that's not talked about. And when people say, like, actually, the one comment that he had made was, people that are in poverty, actually, here, the example that he gave, and it really made me think. So he said, people in middle class, as a reward, what did we buy? Well, we bought a TV. Mind you, we kind of needed a TV because our TV was busted, but, that's kind of the reward. Like, I've worked hard, this is the treat to myself. Bought the TV, or when we had to buy new furniture. Mind you, the furniture was already shit and falling apart.
Oh my
But
God,
it
was
was
it ever?
yeah. But he was saying, like, that's your kind of reward. I've worked hard. You justify it. And he said, for people that are in poverty, or that are lower income, he said, well, don't you think that they kind of do the same thing? But they do it with the means that they have. It might be they buy a bag of chips because it's that feeling of reward. Like, I've worked in a shitty construction job. I've been a hard laborer, all day. Well, I'm gonna go get a case of beer tonight, or I'm gonna go buy a bag of chips.
You know what's funny
You know,
with the bag of chips things, just before you jump off the bag of chips? When you have bad food, like shitty food actually like releases dopamine in your brain, which is a reward system, right? So
yeah,
it actually kind of, even though the shit food makes you feel like shit, your body feel like shit, it triggers something in your brain, which is a reward thing. So it makes you feel
yeah,
good. Well, you think my fat ass would be super happy all the time then? I mean, really?
yeah. Well, and that's but like with him making that example, and what, that makes a lot of sense. So, and the example he said was, well, what you could eat, like, a balanced meal, fresh vegetables, and just have a healthy meal. You could have that over and over and over and over again, but it's not rewarding. But what is rewarding? Oh, you buy a little bottle of I don't know, whatever beverage,
Whiskey.
and well, sure, and then you buy a bag of chips. Well, that is my reward for a hard day's work. Well, and it was kind of that same thing. So I think it's a bit of a change in mentality when it's and he's started his own business. In fact, I think he's running kind of two businesses right now. So, or is it three? I think it's at least two. But anyways, so I guess another thing that, like, Robert Kiyosaki spoke about was, don't turn the rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities.
Yes.
And I thought that was, like, that's what wealthy people do. They will invest in things that will make them money in the future.
Yes, that is true. Which is also a podcast for another time.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sorry. It's just it was just I don't know. It was just kind of an interesting, just an interesting thought, or at least kind of a conversation to, being just educating yourself.
Yes. Now,
Right.
my question to you is this friend that you were talking to regarding the vaccines and stuff like that, what exactly was like, are they pro-vaccine or are they anti? And I'm not talking all vaccines. Are they pro-COVID vaccine or are they anti-vaccine? COVID vaccine.
Oddly enough, we were talking about that, and he asked his doctor. He's like, "Should I get it?" And the doctor said, "Well, yeah, you should get it." And so he said, "Well, why? Like, are my at risk, or is there something wrong that I would be, at risk of having a reaction to it?" The doctor said, "No, but you should get it." He's like, "Well, then why would I get it if I'm healthy, I eat healthy food, I exercise, I don't have any markers that would show that I would be a high risk, so why would I get it?" And his doctor finally said, "You don't actually need it, but you could probably get it."
If you want your privileges back, you should get it.
Yeah, pretty much. But so
Okay, so
But he's not.
so
He's not anti-vax at all. He's just, well, why would I need to get it if, most people that are healthy, like actually healthy, eat healthy, exercise, they're out in the sun, they take, supplements and stuff like that, and they're okay.
okay, so my question though, did this person get the vaccine?
No,
They have not got the vaccine. Do they plan on
no.
getting the vaccine?
If more information comes out that they need it, maybe.
Okay. So they're definitely not one of those people that are get your vaccine or else you're a bunch of anti-vaxxers and stuff like that. They're one of those people that other people would be looking at and throwing stones at.
Well, yeah, and that's actually one point that he had made was his neighbor got it, and he got his government issued ID now, and dude was super happy. And he's like, "Cool, I'm happy that that you feel better and everything else." But when his neighbor asked, "Well, did you get yours?" and he says, "Oh no, I'm not vaccinated," and it was such a reversal. The guy was happy. He was happy for, my friend was happy for him, but when it was the other way around, well, why didn't you get it? Why are you so blah blah blah?
Yeah.
It started firing up that type of shit. So
yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like, it's almost as gross as let's just say playing a video game with somebody and asking them, what's your ethnic background? Like, what are you? Are you Italian? Are you from Jamaica? Are you from the Caribbean? Are you Russian? Like, it's almost as taboo, or not taboo, but loaded as asking somebody, what are you? Are you white? Are you colored? Like, what? You literally, like, someone will ask you, like, that seems to be on everybody's mind now, is they talk to you and they'll be having a great conversation with you. Are you vaccinated? No. Oh, get the fuck away from me. Don't fucking talk to me. You disgust me. You don't care about me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a switch.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, like, if people were to ask me, are you vaccinated? I don't even think I would answer them. I really don't. I think I would just, what does it matter? Is it going to change who I am? Is it going to change my personality? Is it going to change how you look at me? Because if it does, then no, I'm not. I'm not vaccinated. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, that should not be what somebody is asking you. And I hear it so often. I hear it at my work. I hear other customers talking about it. Like, oh, are you vaccinated? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what the heck? Everywhere you go, that's all you hear. You go into some places. Have you been vaccinated? Oh my God. You know what I
know,
mean?
and it's like these businesses have been, hammered so hard. And it's just, you know what? We just don't want to, cause ripples. We just want to do our job. We're trying to follow things as close as we can without, getting in trouble. But
and that's the thing. So also, to go back with this article, okay. So when I told you to stop, sorry, did you have anything else to say before I jump back into the article?
Nope.
Okay. So where I had told you to stop was right at the point where it shows or states that children under 11 who aren't yet able to be vaccinated will be allowed to attend events and activities with a fully immunized adult. Okay. So here's my issue. What if then you have a child under 11 who is not allowed to be vaccinated yet or not able to. Now, everybody, you need to remember the fact here that these vaccines aren't even FDA approved. They're not FDA approved. The government is pushing them, and you cannot sue the pharmaceutical companies who created these vaccines if adverse effects happen or you die. Or in 5 years from now, we find out that we're growing a second head.
Okay, hold on here. Hold on. So I looked up, is there any medical exemptions for it? Simple answer, no. There are no medical exemptions for it.
No, they won't allow it.
So,
that's the thing.
So medical, religious, no. You literally have no rights regarding this. You either get it or you get depersoned.
Yes. Now, my question is, what if, well, not quite my statement, I don't know what you want to call it, but if you were to have a child who is, say, 14 years old, 12 years old, 13, whatever, anyone under 11 or over 11, 12 and up, if you're to have a child who you have not gotten vaccinated, so now these children can't do anything. Now, how soon or how long is it going to be until they start making that mandatory before a child can go to school? So,
there's already talks about it. So,
right? So the thing is then, okay, say you don't feel good about it. Okay? You have questions, whatever. And whether you're vaccinated or not, say you don't want your kids to be vaccinated yet because there hasn't been enough testing done on this. You don't want to put your child at risk. Is that really such a bad thing? Well, according to a lot of other people who, namely people who are in that Toronto Star that they were quoting, not the Toronto Star, people they were quoting, or other people that we have seen, whether it's on social media or friends or family or whatever, that are so like, get the vaccine. Is it really that bad that you want to protect your child? That you don't want your child to get injured or hurt? That you would rather take the bullet, see what happens, and then, okay, if it turns out safe, then okay. Well, no. You don't get that choice anymore. You have places that are in England, Great Britain or whatever, that they're literally taking children away from, or Australia. They're taking children away from their families and vaccinating them because their families won't. When is that okay? How are we allowing the government to take away your child and force something upon them like this? This is disgusting. Like,
this is why I said, like, the government is kind of seems like they're trying to replace parents, because if you don't do this, then you're a terrible human being. I could understand, say, like with polio or smallpox, where like the death rate was between 10 and 20%. Okay, and it directly impacted, well, mostly children. Okay, so we should look at protecting the sectors that are vulnerable. But when government steps in and says, if you don't do this, then you shouldn't have children. Well, okay, then I guess when the next administration comes in and says, because you didn't do something else, say, well, Justin Trudeau was saying, well, female genital mutilation should be okay.
Say what?
Oh yeah. He people were criticizing certain cultures that practice female genital mutilation. And they said that it's barbaric. And his response was, how dare you condemn somebody else's culture with the word barbaric? So,
are you forking kidding me here?
Look it up.
I don't want to look it up because I'm so angry with all this other shit. Dang it. I really do try to stop swearing. I swear like a trucker. I'm sorry. But really? That's not okay. You're not allowed to say the word barbaric in regards to da-da-da. Nobody is saying anything about their religion. The act upon, genital mutilation or whatever, that is horrible. And I'm pretty sure anybody who's had that happen to them wouldn't be like, oh, how dare you say that's barbaric? Nay. That's no.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I'm saying once once you let government decide, if you don't do this, then you're a terrible human being. But if you flip it on the other side, well, let's say, because you didn't, you didn't inject them, or I don't know, just make up whatever. I don't know. I can't think of an example, but you didn't put your kids into this type of education system. Well, now we're going to take them away from you because you didn't do this.
Yeah. So then what happens if, okay, let's just say, fast forward 5-10 years from now. So the government decided, okay, you are a horrible parent for not vaccinating your child. You're putting your child at risk and you're putting everybody else at risk. So we're going to take your child away. We're going to force a vaccine upon them, and then you may have them back. Okay. So fast forward, some bad shit happens when it comes to that vaccine. Then what? Oh, well, we were just trying to do it for the greater good. Sorry, my bad. Oh, okay, well, you said sorry. So the fact that my child's dead now because of this stupid vaccine and that I didn't want to get, that you forced it upon my child, that's okay? Okay.
Well, and I think you should probably clarify, if this happens, and that's when government decides not. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Of course, if it were to happen, but of course, no responsibility lies on that, right? They're completely just off the hook, along with the pharmaceutical companies. Everybody's off the hook. Just sorry, dudes. We were trying. We failed. I guess we shouldn't have made that mandatory. Whoops. But the funny thing is people don't look at the past. Like, when people make mistakes, okay? Generally speaking, when someone makes a mistake, you learn from it. You learn from it. You do not repeat it. Okay? Nazi Germany. How many people have looked upon that and been like, oh, shit, we should definitely not do this again. That was horrible. This is a horrible thing in history.
Mao Zedong, or Mao's China, the Khmer Rouge, Rwanda.
Oh my God.
Soviet Russia, Cuba.
Right?
Now, Venezuela. And sorry, Venezuela, you kind of got screwed by the U.S., but...
But, look around, people. I'm not saying that we are communist country, nor am I saying that we are exactly like Nazi Germany or these other places that were just listed. But look at what's happening. A lot of the things that happened during those times that led to bad things are happening today. All around the world.
So here's a couple things. So this is from the Canadian Constitution Foundation. And they ended up saying that, basically, as the mandates are right now, there is no exceptions or exemptions for people for medical or religious reasons. None, which is clearly discriminatory. And then this was from the CBC. Justin Trudeau retracts the barbaric remarks in regards to female genital mutilation and honor killing, which has happened in Canada.
Well, of course,
the term barbaric has been in the guide since 2009, but forced marriage was added to the line in this new version. So here, booklet so the citizenship book says Canada's openness and generosity do not extend to barbaric cultural practices that tolerate spousal abuse, honor killing, female genital mutilation, forced marriage, or other gender-based violence. That was removed.
Huh. Now, hold on. When you say removed, do you mean that it is been removed it's been removed, that it's... Okay, hold on. my brain was going too fast for my mouth. When you say it's been removed, do you mean that it's been removed as once it was illegal, now it is legal, or the other way around?
So here's the next part. Trudeau took the government to task, however, for using the term barbaric. and said an official government publication should make an attempt at responsible neutrality. He said the acts are absolutely unacceptable, and that's not a matter of debate. But the language chosen by the government to describe them is objectionable. The fact that he changed. My problem with the use of the word barbaric is that it was chosen to reassure Canadians rather than actually change unacceptable behaviors. And this stuff happens. There have been news reports of honor killings where families will kill their daughters because they wronged the family in order to bring back honor to a family. They have murdered women. I remember one prominent story of this lady's brothers killed her because she dishonored the family. Like, and I've said, like, I have no problem with other cultures coming here, but if you are coming here, you don't need to come to Canada. You don't have to. But this is our Charter of Rights. This is our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. These are the baseline by which we operate. If you don't like it, then don't come here. I'm not trying to be rude or insensitive. I'm not trying. I don't want it to come across as that. But if this is the type of stuff that you deem okay, that should be in there. It should be front and center that this is unacceptable in Canada. And I wouldn't mix words about it, that we should discourage it. No. Attempt at responsible neutrality. Just like, instead of actually having people capable of doing the job, or the people that are the best at a job, oh God, now what? Well, okay.
Go.
Well, since you had to take a piss, welcome back.
Geez. It was paused. No one would have known.
No, I'm tough shit, because I don't remember what I was saying. Broke the conversation.
I'm sorry. I could not wait. You were talking about...
So let's just change gears.
Okay.
Okay, so this came from the New York Post. Oh, frick. A missing man was found dead inside a dinosaur in Spain. The death of a 39-year-old man is being investigated after his body was found inside a papier-mâché dinosaur statue in a Barcelona suburb, according to the Latin Times. On Saturday, the police were alerted to a corpse after residents in the Santa Coma de Garam, whatever neighborhood, saw what looked like a human leg through a crack in the Stegosaurus sculpture, while also noticing a foul smell. Firefighters were obviously called to the scene. The body was that of a man who had been reported missing. Though no foul play was suspected, Spanish media has reported that the unnamed man had somehow dropped his cell phone inside the giant figure, fell inside while trying to retrieve it, and was unable to climb out or call for help.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, the statue, which has been used as a now defunct cinema for advertising purposes, has been removed from the public square. So, with that, where do you think would be the worst place to die?
I don't know, that sounds pretty bad. How embarrassing, for one. Two, at first, when you first started telling me this, I was like, my mind, because to anybody who doesn't know, which is probably everybody, I listen to like a lot of true crime stuff. Like I love that stuff. My first thought when you started explaining that is someone killed this dude and then built a paper mache dinosaur around him and just left him there. That's where my mind went. So it made me giggle a little bit when you said like he accidentally died in it, like how awkward. Worst place to die or worst way to die?
Oh, worst way to die is drowning. What would be the most embarrassing place to die? How about that?
Most embarrassing place to die. I would think it'd be around a lot of people. I don't on the toilet. I think that would be pretty embarrassing.
What if you okay? What if you died beaten off to porn and you had like a heart attack? And like rigor mortis. Well, I guess for a guy, rigor mortis steps or kicks in, and you're sitting there, you're still holding your junk, you still got your laptop or your phone or whatever, and you died like that. Like literally, they wouldn't even be.
Well, because I listen to a lot of true crime, I know it doesn't happen that quickly. It actually takes your body like 4 hours for rigor mortis to start setting in. So the chances, if you were like, that would be super embarrassing. They would be able to figure out that that's what you were doing, but you definitely wouldn't still be hand on dick with a hard dick with porn going. Your hand probably would fall off and your dick would be out, so they'd be able to figure out exactly what it is that you're doing and what kind of porn you're watching when you had that heart attack. But
what about an aneurysm? What if you had an aneurysm? Like an air bubble just went up to your brain and blah.
But even still, it takes up like 4 hours for rigor mortis to even start setting in. So it still takes some time. That would be embarrassing, yes. God, I don't know. Like for me, it's more of like in public. Like I remember there was one time I was at work and apparently I choke on air because I don't know how to I don't know. I just learned how to breathe or some shit. But I just randomly started, well, okay, I know why it is, but I just started choking and I couldn't breathe, and I went away from the customer that I was serving and went into the back, and I ended up on the ground, and I thought I was dying. And all as I could think in that moment is most people are like, "Oh, your life flashes before your eyes when you're about to die." Nay, nay. I was like, "How embarrassing is this?" I'm literally on the ground. I have a bunch of coworkers around me, like panicking, wondering if I'm gonna peace out, and it was so embarrassing. Like I was just super embarrassed after and while it was happening. So I don't know. That for me would be pretty embarrassing. I think I'd be one of those people like an animal. I think it was an animal in a past life that would just run away by themselves and die in a corner hidden somewhere, you know?
I mean, getting shoved up a whale's ass.
Why on earth would you be getting shoved up there? Like, who would be doing that? Some weird serial killer? I don't.
I mean, you're swimming in the ocean and you just stuck in a car.
Oh my god. I think an embarrassing way for somebody to die would be doing something stupid like shoving something ridiculous up your ass or your cooch. 100%.
Oh.
Probably going to be demonized on YouTube for saying that, but 100%.
Do you remember the story of Mr. Hands?
I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar.
So this guy, he got fucked in the ass by a horse, and it ended up tearing through his I don't know, his intestines.
Wasn't that one or either two dudes or two guys, one horse or something like that? And one of the guys, isn't that what it was called?
I don't know. I just remember Mr. Hands because he got railed by this giant horse dick and then died.
Yeah, killed him right in the porn. I heard about that.
No, it wasn't in the porn. It was like 15 minutes after. He said he had a stomach pains or something, and then he tore up his insides.
No shit, dumbass. Have you seen the size of a fucking horse's dick? They're not small. Our bodies, guess what? We're not horses. Our bodies aren't designed to take a 4-inch, 4-inch. Oh my God. 5-foot long freaking dong.
What?
What? Hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna get hold on. How long is a
Oh God.
Oh, well, that just, I don't know centimeters. God. Hold on.
How many meters?
1 point. Oh, that's it?
Hello?
No. That can't be right. It says it's 50 centimeters, but no, that can't be right. I think I Googled something wrong.
Probably.
Whatever. It's huge. I don't. I'm having issues here. But regardless, okay, the thing is huge. Our bodies aren't designed to take something that long. So use your common sense here. I remember hearing about a woman who somehow, I don't know why, but decided, I guess, she was going to shtuck a broom, and she went on top of her fridge to literally shove the broom handle in her and ended up falling and impaling herself and dying. I mean, right?
Oh,
Who
God.
thinks about these things? Like, I want to do this. Oh, I can't quite get the right angle because I guess using your brain and lying on the ground wasn't smart enough. I'm going to go on top of the fridge. What? Why? Why are people so dumb? Oh my God.
Oh, that's like Vlad the Impaler shit.
Right? Oh yeah, it's nasty.
God.
The way that I think for me, that would be the most embarrassing. Like finding out that someone or myself, well, I wouldn't be that dumb, but doing something so stupid and shoving something retarded up myself that ended up killing me, that would be the most embarrassing way to die. Forever known as the girl who climbed on top of her fridge to fuck her broom. No.
Hold on. Man dies after having... Shut up. A man dies after having sex using an epoxy adhesive instead of a condom?
What?
25-year-old Indian man who suddenly died after using a high-powered epoxy resin instead of a condom. They used the adhesive to avoid pregnancy. What is this? And his ex-fiancée were captured on CCTV entering the fatal flophouse. The fatal flophouse? What the? Addicted to drugs, had gone to a hotel where they had applied an epoxy adhesive to his private parts as a what? In addition to sealing off his manhood, the couple also mixed the epoxy with whitener and inhaled the mixture. Doomed duo were intoxicated from the chemical cocktail and the time of the ill-fated hookup.
Sorry, can you back up after you said the whitener because you cut out?
The whitener had inhaled the mixture for a kick. The lovebirds' acquaintances told an official the doomed duo were intoxicated from the chemical cocktail at the time of the ill-fated hookup. But how would that... What?
Well, yeah, they didn't have any condoms.
I don't understand how he died due to multiple organ failure caused by the MacGyver-style contraceptive. Meanwhile, the man's friend said,
But how
Why would
did
that kill him?
how did only he die and not her? I mean, because if you think about it, like on a male, it's on the outside of the penis, right? Whereas a female,
Yeah.
it goes internal. So how is it that the girl's still alive and he's the one that died? That I don't
Oh
get.
shit. Ron Jeremy indicted in more sex assault charges.
Really?
Holy shit.
That big dick motherfucker's like doing bad things?
Indicted on 30 new counts of sexual assault for
30?
allegedly molesting 21 women.
Oh my god. How did you get to that from using epoxy as a condom? Use your
These are
brains,
just
people. You like Kate, use your brains. If we've learned anything from this episode is to think before you do shit. Whether it's taking the COVID vaccine or listening to your government or whatever, or fucking a broom or putting epoxy on your dick as a condom, use your heads. Oh my god, people are so dumb. So dumb.
I don't understand how that would kill him.
Me neither.
That's what I don't understand.
Multi-organ failure. I wonder if it was like, it ended up gluing his penis shut.
Yes, but I don't know, unless it went like inside.
It must have. But I still don't understand how the female didn't have anything wrong with her.
Wow. Well, we're gonna have to.
I'm pretty sure they, like, considering the fact that that's not what condoms are made out of, I'm pretty sure, it's not going to help you from disease or getting pregnant, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe it was just like pee and frickin' spunk got all built up inside. I guess.
Well, yeah, if he can't pee, it's all just sitting in there, and he probably ended up getting, I don't know, just backed up in him, right?
Yes. Jesus. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Let's get the hell out of here.
So, interesting little factoid, though. Today,
okay.
I don't know, just stupid little thing. I was outside doing something, and I happened to see a spider dead sitting on top of another spider web. And then I had to think to myself, can a spider get caught in another spider's web? The answer to that, surprisingly, is yes. A spider can even get stuck in their own web. Yes. They don't have any special immunity to the sticky silk.
Really?
Right? And spider cannibalism, it happens. So if a spider were to get stuck in another spider's web, that doesn't mean they're off limits. Nay, that's their next meal. Interesting,
wow.
right? Oh, let's see. What does it say here? Spider cannibalism is an act of the spider consuming all parts of another individual and same species as food. In the majority of cases, a female spider kills and eats a male before, during, or after copulation. Causes in which males eat females are rare. Ew. So yeah, they're getting all freaky. She eats them. It's awkward.
Oh yeah, that's pretty pretty well known.
You've impregnated me. Your work here is done. You are now my food. That's just sick. I don't know. I find the God, we should do an episode on bugs. I know that sounds really messed up. I find bugs fascinating, and I find what bugs in the earth, or what bugs actually do for the earth, fascinating. But they are a messed up species, I tell you. The things that they do to one another, like the zombie things, I could just go on. We should do an episode on bugs one day, but that is for another day. I just wanted to tell you about my interesting little factoid thing about spiders can get caught in other spiders' webs and even their own.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. If you made it this far on our interesting rant and then weird sex talk and spiders, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Where you can follow us will be listed below. Other than that, we will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, bye.